Hello students, welcome to your favorite channel English Learning Assam. Today I bring the last part of the question paper solution of English of 2020. মৰমৰ ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীসকল আজি মই তোমালোকৰ আগত HS ফাইনাল ইয়াৰ এক্সামিনেশ্যন 2020 ৰ ইংলিছৰ একেবাৰে লাষ্ট পাৰ্টটো সলিউশন কৰি দিবলৈ ওলাইছো আশা কৰো এই ভিডিওটো তোমালোকৰ অহা পৰীক্ষা সমূহৰ কাৰণে অতিকৈ সহায়ক হৈ উঠিব গতিকে তোমালোকে এই ভিডিওটি স্কিপ নকৰি প্ৰথমৰ পৰা শেষলৈ চাবা এতিয়া আমি মূল বিষয়বস্তুলৈ আহো এতিয়া মই গ্ৰুপ ডিৰ টেক্সট বুকস সৰ কোশ্চেন আনসাৰ খিনি কৰি দিম অলৰেডি তোমালোকৰ আগত পট্ৰি সেকশনৰ কোশ্চেন খিনিৰ উইথ সলিউশন সহকাৰে দিয়া হৈছে আৰু প্ৰসৰ 1 নং কোশ্চেন অৰ্থাৎ 1 নম্বৰী কোশ্চেন খিনিৰ আনসাৰ কৰি দিয়া হৈছে আজি মই তোমালোকৰ আগত 2 নম্বৰৰ কোশ্চেনৰ পৰা আলোচনা কৰিম Question number 13 13ত প্ৰথম কোশ্চেনটো আমি আলোচনা কৰিম Answer any 5 in 30 to 40 words 2 into 5 equal to 10 A why did author the blacksmith tell Franz that he would reach school in plenty of time Answer Author, the blacksmith told Franz that he would reach school in plenty of times because he knew that Hamel would teach his last lesson on French that day and he would not scold Franz. So he did not need to hurry up to reach school. তার মানে কি কোশ্চেনটো কি আছিল Why did Wasser the blacksmith? Hey, the last lesson of Thoga, blacksmith জনৰ নাম কি আছিল Wasser. Wasser কি কৈছিল ফ্ৰান্স কি কৈছিল they tell France that he would reach school in plenty of time. মানে সময়মতে বহুত টাইম পাবা স্কুলত পাবলৈ। ইয়াৰ আনসাৰ খিনি এইখিনি আছিল। Now come to B number. Give a brief description সীমাপুৰী বিষয়ে ডিসক্রিপশন দিব দিছে 2 নম্বৰ আছিল আনসার সীমাপুৰী ইজ এ কি সেটেলমেন্ট অফ মোর দেন 10,000 র্যাক ফিকার্স সেটে সীমাপুৰীখন 10,000ৰ বেছি কি বুটুলি লেত্ৰা দমৰ পৰা জাবৰ জোথৰ দমৰ পৰা বুটুলি অনা লেত্ৰা বুটুলি অনা মানুহৰ কি আছিল বসতি স্থান আছিল ইট ইজ এ প্লেস অন দা পেৰিফেৰি অফ দিল্লী এটো দিল্লীৰ ওচৰত থকা এখন ঠাই পেৰিফেৰি ওচৰত থকা এখন ঠাই সাৰ্ভাইভেল ইন সীমাপুৰী মিন্স ৰেকফিকিং সীমাপুৰী মানুহে কি কৰিছিল এই যে জাবৰ দমৰ পৰা কিবা লেত্ৰা বস্তুৰ পৰা কিবা কিবি বুটুলি অনাটোই আছিল হিহঁতৰ মেইন কাম Garbage to them is gold. হিহঁতৰ বাবে লেত্ৰা বস্তুটোই গোল্ড বুলি কৈছে হন বুলি কৈছে the rack pickers live there in the structure of mud. They have roofs of tin and tarpaulin. হিহঁতৰ ঘৰৰ হেই ৰূপটো কি আছিল টিনৰ আৰু tarpaulinৰ there is no sewage drainage or running water তাত কোনো ধৰণৰ জাবৰ জোথৰ পেলোৱা ঠাই বা ড্ৰেনেজ সিস্টেম বা রানিং ওয়াটাৰৰ কোনো ধৰণৰ ফেসিলিটি নাছিলে সি was Saheb happy with his job at the tea stall সাহেবে এই চাহৰ দোকানত চাকৰি কৰিতেও সুখী হৈছিল নে Answer no. Sahib was not happy with his job at the tea stall. তেওঁ টি ষ্টলত চাকৰি কৰি বা কাম কৰি সুখী হোৱা নাছিল. He was paid rupees 800 and all the meals. তেওঁ কি 800 টকা দিয়া হৈছিল আৰু সকলোখিনি কি আহাৰ দিয়া হৈছিল. Yet his face had lost carefree look. তথাপি তেওঁৰ মুখমণ্ডলখনত কি যত্ন নোহোৱা মুখমণ্ডল বুলি দেখা হৈছিল. তেওঁ সন্তুষ্ট হৈ থকা নাছিল. The steel container seemed heavier than the plastic bag. এই যে তেওঁ লেতেৰাৰ পৰা প্লাষ্টিক বেগটো কান্ধত লৈ লেতেৰাবিলাকৰ পৰা কিবা কিবি বুটলি আছিল, কিন্তু সেইটোতকৈ কিন্তু ষ্টীলৰ কণ্টেইনাৰটো বহুত গুণে কি আছিল, হেভি আছিল. দ্য বেগ ৱাজ হিজ বাৰ্ড. দ্য canister belongs to the man who owned the tea stall. বেগটো তেওঁৰ আছিল, কিন্তু তেওঁৰ কণ্টেইনাৰটো তেওঁৰ সেই দোকানত কাম কৰা মানুহৰ আছিল. He was no longer his own master now. তেওঁ বেছিদিন তেওঁৰ এই মাষ্টাৰৰ লগত বেছিদিন কাম কৰা নাছিল. ডি. Why was Professor Malcony's action of offering shelter to Gandhi extraordinary? Professor Malcony's এই গান্ধীক শেল্টাৰ দিয়াটো কিয় এক্সট্ৰাঅৰ্ডিনাৰী বুলি আছিল? আনসাৰ: Professor Malcony's action of offering shelter to Gandhi was extraordinary because the average Indian in smaller localities were afraid to show sympathy towards advocates of home rule. They had not the courage to say anything against the British authority who ruled India. E. What other dreams does Sophie have besides having boutique? Besides having a boutique, Sophie has some other big dreams. She wants to be a manager or an actress or a fashion designer like Mary Quant. তেওঁ বটিকৰ উপৰিও ছফিৰ কি আছিল, ডাঙৰ সপোন আছিল. সেই সপোন তেওঁ কি হ'ব খুজিছিল? তেওঁ হ'ব খুজিছিল মেনেজাৰ হ'ব খুজিছিল, এজন এক্ট্ৰেছ হ'ব খুজিছিল, বা ফেশ্বন ডিজাইনাৰ হ'ব খুজিছিল লাইক মেৰী কোৱাণ্টৰ নিচিনাকৈ. এফ. Why was Sophie fascinated by Danny Kaye? Was it a one-sided affair? Answer: Sophie was fascinated by Danny Kaye because he was young, handsome Irish football star. Yes. Secondly, it was one-sided affair. G. Write in brief the scene observed by the author from the veranda of his bungalow on the bank of the river Brahmaputra. G. Answer: the author had a splendid view of the river and its shipping and the distant Himalayas from the veranda of his bungalow on the bank of the river Brahmaputra. In the foreground for Peacock Island with the dome of a Hindu temple which is now known as Umanand, just visible through the tree. Now come to the question number 14. Answer any one of the following questions in 80 to 100 words. 5 into 1 equal to 5. A. How does M. Hamel make the people realize how the students and he have been responsible for not learning their language well? Answer: M. Hamel made the people realize how all of them had been responsible for not learning their language well. He said that putting up learning till tomorrow was the great trouble with VIll-Xll. The students must feel had enough. They thought that they had plenty of time and they would learn it the next day. They had all a great deal to reproach themselves with. He blamed the parents who were not anxious enough to have their children learn. They preferred to put the children to work on a farm or at the mills to earn money. He also blamed himself for neglecting his duty as a teacher. He often sent his students to water his flowers instead of learning their lessons. He just gave a holiday when he wanted to go fishing. Or write briefly on the hazard of working in the glass bangle industry. Answer. The bangle makers of Firozabad lead a miserable life. Every family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. It is the center of India's glass blowing industry. It employs about 20,000 children who work in the glass furnaces with high temperature in dingy cells without air and light. Nobody cares for the law in Firozabad. They live in the dark apartments beside the stinking lands choked with garbage. Their eyes are more adjusted to the dark than to the light outside. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before they become adults. Years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. They are victims of poverty and exploitation. They have fallen into various circles of the Shahukars, the middlemen, the keepers of the law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. 15. Answer any one of the following questions in 125 to 150 words. A. Compare and contrast the stories of Zitkala Shah and Bhama. Answer. Two different forms of discrimination and projected in the narration of Zitkala Shah and Bhama. Zitkala Shah experienced discriminations against the Native American race, culture, and women in the Christian missionary school in American society. Her long hair was singled forcefully, which in her culture symbolized a coward. She was even deprived of her moccasins, the shoes worn by Native American. On the other hand, Bama had a bitter experience of untouchability when she was studying in third class. One day an old man of her estate drew her attention when she was coming back home from her school. He was carrying a small packet of food by its string without touching it. The elder went straight to the landlord, bowed low, and extended the packet towards him, which looked very funny. He came to know that the landlord was from an upper caste. He did not want that man to touch him. She felt terribly sad. She was the victim of the age-long caste system of untouchability in Indian society. Both of them rebelled against the two different existing forms of discrimination. They did not bow down to their situation. They struggled hard to remove the discrimination through education, or give an elaborate account of the celebration associated with Uruka, the important part of Magh Bihu. Answer: the Uruka happens to be an important aspect of Magh Bihu. A fire ceremony is closely associated with Magh Bihu, but more significant is Uruka, the Bihu Eve. On this day, women folk get ready for the next day with chira, pitha, ladu, cart, etc. Uruka is not exactly a one-day affair, for fuel has to be gathered, fish has to be got from ponds, stream, and if possible, some meat too. In tribal settings, women prepare rice beer, usually undistilled. In winter, it takes 4 or 5 days to get the beer matured. Usually, young lads build mazes and velagars. Uruka feasting may be a family affair or communal. After the feasting, evening, next day at crack of dawn, someone in the family ties thin strips of bamboo, jute or hair around fruit-bearing tree. Then all take purifying bath and put on washed clothes. The male folk and children then move on to the mazes and villager, where offering of eatables are made to the god of fire, Agni. Special fruit is taken on this day. 16. Answer any 4 of the following questions in 30 to 40 words. 2 into 4 equal to 8. A. How did the 100th tiger take its revenge on the Tiger King? Answer. The Tiger King bought a wooden toy tiger as a perfect gift for his son's birthday. On the birthday, he was playing with that wooden tiger. One of the silver spears the king's right hand. Infection spread all over the arm. 3 surgeons performed an operation but could not save the king. Thus the 100th tiger took its revenge on the king. B. Why did messenger come to Dr. Sadhu? Answer. The messenger came to Dr. Sadhu because the general was seriously ill. He was in pain and required medical treatment immediately. He had faith only in Dr. Sadhu's medical capabilities in the whole Japan. So, the messenger came to Dr. Sadhu to ask him to treatment the general. Next, see how did Mr. Lamb try to give courage and confidence to Derry? Answer. Mr. Lamb was worldly wise man, though one of his legs was blown off in the wire. Children called him Lamb, but he did not mind it. He told Derry how to overcome his physical deformity. He called him blessed because he had 2 arms, legs, ears, eyes, a brain, and a tongue. Thus, Mr. Lamb tries to give courage and confidence to Drake. D. Why did it take Bama to reach home in 30 minutes instead of 10 minutes? Answer. It took Bama to reach home 30 minutes instead of 10 minutes because she watched all the funs and games, all the entertaining novelties and oddities that were going on the streets, the shops, and the bazaar. E. How did Annan explain the elder man's action to Bama? Answer. Annan told Bama the man was not funny when he carried the package like that. He said everybody believed that they were upper caste and therefore must not touch them. That's why he had to carry the package by its string. F. What are the different sports held on the occasion of Magh Bihu or Magor Domahi? The different sports held on the occasion of Magh Bihu or Magor Domahi are wrestling, racing, jumping, buffalo fighting, and egg fighting. In earlier times, more martial games like sword play and javelin throwing were customary. So, my dear students, এইখিনিয়ে আছিলে HS ফাইনাল এক্সামিনেশন 2020 ইংলিছৰ কোশ্চিন পেপাৰৰ ফুল্লি সলিউশন মই অলৰেডি 5টা ভিডিঅ'ৰ জৰিয়তে তোমালোকৰ আগত 2020 চনৰ ইংলিছৰ কোশ্চিনখিনিৰ গোটেইখিনিৰ এনসাৰ দাঙি ধৰিলো। আশা কৰো এই ভিডিঅ'ৰ দ্বাৰা তোমালোকৰ অহা HS ফাইনাল এক্সামিনেশন 2022 বাবে অতি সহায়ক হৈ উঠিব। গতিকে তোমালোকে ভিডিঅ'টো বাৰে বাৰে চাবা আৰু ঘৰত কোশ্চিনখিনি পঢ়িবলৈ যত্ন কৰিবা। থ্যাংক ইউ।